Dziękuję agus filterodistach. Is Misha Drolin on Will to Gama. Are you well? I'm well. I'm as well as you can be. I'm a deep, deep well of barren water. Yes, it is rubbish weather. I left the house to get a coffee, and I had some thoughts that I wanted to share. I'm making this on a Sunday so I can have it posted for you guys for Magic Monday. Where is my stuff? I need to get a pipe together. Okay, energy. You clicked on this video because you want to know about energy and you're interested in what I have to say about energy. This is going to be, off the cuff, a bit of a chittity chat. And I don't have a main focus or direction, but I have a theme, so I'm just going to run with it. So I don't know how long this is going to be or if it's worth your time or attention. But it's stuff that I would like to share and get off my mind. Because I often don't have people that speak the same language as me, or understand things on a deeper level, or take them serious enough to actually embody them and act upon them. So, energy. Don't mind me, I'm trying to get a pipe together. We're often told as children, you are what you eat. And while that's a valid statement, there's some truth behind that. You are what you eat. I would say it's a lot deeper than that. It's more like you become what you consume. But what does that mean? Lighter. There we go. You become what you consume. This does not mean just food or liquid. Keep in mind throughout this discourse that we're having that I'm talking about energy. So everything that I happen to bring up during this conversation, it's tied to energy. You are what you consume. Some people have argued that you are the sum total of the 3 to 5 people that you talk to on a daily or regular basis. And while that is true, because of influence and energy and how things work, I would argue that they don't have to be actually real people. It could be AI. It could be something you're being fooled by through technology. Or it's very possible that these 3 to 5 people are YouTube influencers, TikTok influencers, bands that you listen to, authors that you read, people that you follow. So yeah, it's not necessarily just the people within your household. It's not necessarily your husband or your wife or your children. Yes, they play a factor. But the things that you consume, you become that. And that's the trap. Social media has an algorithm for a reason, especially here in America. But things like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, they have an infinite ability of just mindless scrolling or swiping that never ever ends. And our brains are not meant to process information like that. It's causing a severe problem, especially in the youth, with attention spans. Not only does it, enforce upon the viewer, the ones that's consuming it, that everybody's life is so great. Everybody's happy, bright, sunny vacation, wonderful food, beautiful family, beautiful house, and it's a lie. People don't post the real stuff. They post what they want you to see or what they want you to believe is going on in their life. And yeah, it's wonderful. But for a lot of people, it causes depression. It causes self-worth problems, even with dealing with their weight or their appearance. And that changes energy within the self. It's unhealthy. It's very addictive. It's a bit chilly. And then you're bombarded with things like ads. You're bombarded with thoughts of retail therapy that, maybe if I just buy this, I'll feel happier. Don't fall for the traps. Try to distance yourself as much as possible from social media. Like even now, as I'm recording this, I'm getting pop-ups from text messages. I'm getting pop-ups from YouTube videos from channels that I'm subscribed to that somebody just posted something. Somebody just posted something. Oh, there we go. Something on Facebook. Somebody just posted something. Turn off your notifications if they bother you. Definitely don't have them on a sound or even a vibrate. It's up to you to limit your exposure to things that trigger that response. But it's even difficult to get into that because a lot of things are so subconscious level, you're not even aware of it. You're constantly being lied to and fooled about so many things in life. I would say that we're definitely we're in a crux. We're in a major crux as a civilization, as a culture, in the Western world here, that we're at the precipice of something big. And it's a very precarious time. It is definitely dangerous. We're one, incident away from civil unrest. There's problems with the financial system. There's problems with the medical industry. There's problems everywhere. All the stuff going on overseas in various locations that no one seems to really talk about. They only talk about one. And even then, we're being lied to over and over again. And this, again, coming back to energy, changes you. It doesn't allow you to feel tapped into a universal feeling of peace or joy or love. It is like there's an agenda that they want to separate. They want to divide. They want you to feel that, there's an us and a them, or, white versus black, or men versus women. And it goes on and on. There's even religion against religion. Country and nation against another country or nation. The agenda is succeeding. But I've honestly noticed more and more people waking up. We're not talking about woke. We're talking about people that are getting in tune with vibration. More and more people are becoming spiritual. Even those that belong to their own religions, Christianity, Muslims. You'll find more and more people are dabbling in paganism, searching out, universal truths, or even going back to their roots. And they should, because we've been cut off for a very long time. But this word energy gets thrown around a lot, especially in the metaphysical or the esoteric sense, in the occult world. These things are somehow hidden or, non-accessible to the every person. And the trappings within paganism, or this New Age movement, if you will, with this stuff called energy, is that it relies heavily upon mythology, folklore, symbolism that's not taught because you're not a part of a initiatory or, do I dare say secret society, something like that. You're not going through some formalized degree program to understand these things on a different level. So a lot of these people getting into this stuff called energy are doing so from a pagan or a spiritual bend on things, when in actuality it's science. Now, there's definitely a meeting point. Excuse me. Go. There's definitely a meeting point between science and spirituality. You get into things like sacred geometry. You get into things like vibration. And we're talking about energy here. You have to start digging deeper on quantum entanglement, quantum physics, quantum mechanics. Look into the science. If you're coming from a background of paganism or spirituality, start digging into the science. It will change your spirituality for the better. No, vice versa. If you're coming, only into this from a science, then I would suggest getting into the spirituality, because there is a harmony of balance of where they meet. I would call it brackish. Just like when the waters meet. You have fresh water that meets salt water. There's a specialized zone called brackish water. It's a mix between both. And that environment is much different than either of the two. Some things can live in brackish water and some things cannot. It's a liminal space, like I've mentioned in many of my videos. Liminal time, liminal space. Sympathetic resonance. Sympathetic resonance when how tuning forks work. I've brought this up in other videos. Well, hello. We have crows and seagulls causing a muck. It can be very overwhelming, and this video is not intended to be even an introduction or anything expanded upon dealing with light, sound, color, wavelengths, vibration. But you should be aware that vibration exists on a quantum level. And all things first happen in the mind. You know that old saying about control your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your thoughts. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions, etc. Everything happens in the mind first. People are not training their mind. People are lazy in their mind, they're lazy in their body, and they're lazy in their spirit. Discipline is important. It exists for a reason, because you get results. So, we know about things like chakras, light centers in the body. And different hertz, different vibrations, different frequencies have, a mathematical signature, and they can be measured. I forget the proper term, but how sacred geometry works, when you change the vibration frequency, a different pattern will manifest. Okay? Don't you think that your words have power? You can speak things into existence. But you can't do all these magical things, these spiritual things, these scientific things, if you're constantly being bombarded or surrounded with things that are not good for you. You are what you consume. Are you listening to music that often makes you feel aggressive? Are you watching the news that's making you upset? Are you a person that other people often come to and dump on? Are there people in your life causing chaos or drama? Sit down and write out a list of all the things that you could possibly think of in your life that is causing disharmony, and then start removing them. I'm not saying to ignore and avoid. People don't like conflict. Most people don't like conflict. But conflict ignored multiplies. And before you know it, you'll be overwhelmed and pushed to your limits. And it happens to all people. It happens in marriages. It happens in friendships. It happens at work. Relationships between coworkers. Relationships between bosses. These are all things that are frequency and vibration. It's all energy. It could be argued that, in a very conspiratorial way, that the agenda doesn't want a free flow of energy through your center. Doesn't want those, chakras to be anything above the third from your root. It doesn't want the heart to be open. It doesn't want this to be open. We're talking about things like your pineal gland, that third eye. I'm not really going to get into the whole history of that, the artwork behind it, or even how to activate it. I'll probably never cover that stuff because I'm not your teacher. I'm not your mentor. I'm not your guide. I'm not a guru. I'm just your druid friend, the Wren, that likes to talk about strange and obscure things. What you do is what you do. That's on you. Most people don't allow themselves the quiet time to think, to ask themselves questions, to give themselves time to process those questions, and then to make a decision, and to be disciplined enough to follow through on their choice. Either be a diet, or what they're going to do with the next week, or going to the gym, or what have you. Even changing jobs. And it all happens in the mind. And then you can speak things to existence. You can write things down. There's lots of methods to manifest. There's an infinite number of realities that are simultaneously happening right now. They say that, depression is your past and anxiety is your future. But past, present, and future all exist right now. And did you know that your words can influence and affect a star at the edge of the universe instantly? We're not talking butterfly effect. We're talking quantum entanglement. We're talking about the energy field that surrounds atoms. That there's You get down to like the atomic level. There's many tornadoes spinning around. Everything is energy. Everything's vibrating. Everything in the universe is vibrating. We are made of stardust. We are living in a meat suit. And this is a game. This is a school. It's a game. A lot of people are unhappy, and they don't realize that they have the ability to train their mind to have the thoughts that they need to have to not feel or be where they are. But people don't want to take accountability, and people don't want to take responsibility that it's up to them. People want attention. People want to talk about it. They don't want to do it. You can show people the door, but it's up to them to walk through it. And most people don't want to walk through that door. Even if you can show them, I'll open the door for you. You open the door for them. You can describe and explain what's over there. You're here. Here's the door. All you got to do is walk through it. I'm scared. Don't be scared. Why? I'll show you what's on the other side. You open the door for them. They can clearly see what's on the other side. And that makes it probably worse for people, because then they can clearly see that it's up to them. They've been programmed so hard, they're unwilling to give up everything to be something that they're supposed to be. It's like train yourself to lose everything kind of thing, They say that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. And while that is true, there's something else that they left out. And they left it out intentionally, and I'm going to tell you. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It just exists. But it can be manipulated. And what I mean by that, it's like bending light. What I mean by manipulated is it can be molded. It's plastic. It can be formed. It's like clay. This concept of magic can be talked about so many different ways, but it is definitely the art and the science of being able to change your consciousness at will. Not some sort of magic waving of arms and incantations. That's lower vibration. Yes, that works. Yes, that is magic. But why bother when all you have to do is learn how to manifest, learn how to manipulate. And I don't want you to take away from this video that, the manipulation of energy is a bad thing, because it's oftentimes that this idea, manipulation has a negative connotation to it. So if you want to say mold, if you want to say transform or manifest, you can insert your own word for what you're doing. But you are working with energy, not against. You are working with vibration. You are tapping into specific frequencies for a desired outcome. And there's lots of ways to do that. Sound and vibration is very important. Jeez. That's what happens when you have garbage in a parking lot. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 17, 18 seagulls roaming the parking lot. They think that I probably have food because there's fast food restaurants. They're probably waiting for like French fries or something. Can you tell that I have ADHD? Hyperfocus and then shift. So again, to hit on that point, manipulate. I don't want you to think that it's some sort of negative thing that you're manipulating energy. You manipulate your own energy when you speak ill of others, when you speak bad about yourself. Words like I can't. When you speak negatively, even text negatively, you're bringing things into existence. I can. I will. I am. Check out these 7 principles of Hermeticism. That might open up a new door for you. I think there's something called the 9 something of something Egyptian, I believe. I don't know if it's accurate or what have you, but there's some 9 principles of some Egyptian thing. It's very similar, I think, to the 7 principles of Hermeticism. Examine your life. And I'm not saying that this idea of science and magic is going to make you a millionaire. But more importantly, it has the ability to make you aware, awake, and live with happiness and joy. And being able to radiate that is contagious and changes your environment too. It's kind of like your light body or your aura or your light shield. If you can manifest your energy in such a way to be vibrating at a specific frequency, then everything in your surrounding area will take on your energy. Instead of you walking into the room and reading the room and being influenced by that room, these people over here and this person over there, and you're getting these vibes from people, why would you take that on? Stop absorbing that. This idea that we're living in the Matrix, that's not new. All this talk, ever since that movie came out, and now like this popular stuff of, we're living in the Matrix, we're living in a simulation. The ancient Greeks were talking about this. Plato's allegory was all about this. This is not new. It's exhausting to deal with people that have no concept of history or that they think this reality that we're living in is real. This reality is an agreed nightmare. We're all willing participants in this game, this existence called life, but it's not real. I mean, those that have taken DMT or had an ego death or a near-death experience or out-of-body stuff, or there's various things that the CIA has covered up, and they have for a reason. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but, there has been a whole bunch of products that have been, not talked about now that are being brought to light that all of us spiritual people have said from the beginning, this is what we're into, and oh, that's right, now the government's been a part of it for a while now too. Remote viewing and other dimensional things. Of course they're real. Our ancient ancestors have known about these things from the beginning. It could be argued that the church tried to cover it up. I don't know. Energy. Where is your energy being pulled during the day? What's depleting your energy? What's making you feel tired? People don't realize too that the earth has its energy. It has spots. Just like we have sacred centers within the body, what's making you sick? Mentally sick, psychologically sick, emotionally sick, physically sick. Keep forgetting that I have a coffee. You can manipulate your energy in various different ways. There's different methods for different occasions or different needs. You can slow time down. You can exist outside of time. There's all sorts of neat little things that you can learn about and start practicing and doing to tap into this world of energy, of vibration. But you have to be very wary of these gurus and these teachers. And that's why I really don't want to get into the how-to. Because all it takes is one person in the comments section, oh, I tried what you did, it didn't work. I'm not going to argue with people and say, well, how did you do it? Did you do it like this? And that's a headache. But if these things are of interest to you, all of the information is out there. All of it. There's nothing stopping you to accomplishing what you need to accomplish for yourself. Suspicious person. What is this guy doing? Shut the door, lock the door, shut the door, lock the door, beep the door, walk away from the door, walk back to the car, beep the car, look inside your car, open the door, lock the door, beep the car, walk away. Strangeness afoot. I would say definitely look into anything you can get your hands on dealing with manifestation, with, frequency, with the different numbers for hertz, for sound. Learn as much as you can about consciousness, what it is, how it works, how to get very similar effects through meditation instead of taking a drug. I can tell you that you can achieve basically almost all the same results through diet, fasting, and sleep deprivation, sensory deprivation, meditation, that you can via drugs. And if you use those in combination with other things, then you, like a float tank or what have you, then you can have some very positive results. Yes, I'm not looking at my camera a lot. I'm in a parking lot, and I'm always wary of what's going on around me. So my eyes are here, my eyes are there, my head's over here. I like to be aware of my surroundings when I'm in public, especially if it's busy. It's kind of a job-related thing. I work in security, so I like to be aware of things. So light is growing. We are past Imbolc, We are entering March. We're in March. And light is growing. We're approaching the equinox. Equal day, equal night. Near to my birthday on the 21st. Which means then as the wheel of the year is turning, you have March Madness. Light is growing. Things are heating up a bit. There's more movement, there's more activity, and there's more chance of chaos. Daylight savings time happens. We'll have more light, and you have more busyness. And then you have the beginning of things, the regeneration, the growth, the newness, the buds, the birds, the bees, things returning, things growing, the life force in all things like the trees with the sap, and the life force in human beings starting to flow faster. And then you shed your winter weight, which does not have to be physical. You should have done all your shadow work already. So you're shedding your winter weight. You're moving into a new wheel of the year. It could be argued that there's a new energy because seasons change. We are a part of the seasons. We are part of the earth. We're a part of the things that are happening here. Even though the reality is illusion, there's no separation. We are all one. The illusion is that there is nothing else but financial gain, and they don't want you to experience this idea of love thy neighbor. And the pagans out there, myself included, a lot of people have a shit ton of animosity towards Christianity because they don't understand the mystical aspects of Christianity. Nothing to do with the religion, and nothing to do with the church. We're talking about the symbolic things that are about metaphor and allegory, symbolism within the esoteric teachings of Christianity that's not taught in the church. And I think if more pagans understood that idea of Christianity, they would say, holy crap, look at how pagan that is. And it might upset them more to realize how much more that system has borrowed and stolen from other cultures that predate Christianity from the pagan world. But like I said, more people are waking up, and all those things will be brought to light. And then you'll feel a lot more universal love, in a way, towards people that are Christian, that have woken up, that are Muslim, that have woken up, to the Hindus and the Buddhists. And everybody else needs to come together and say, this is our only home. We're only here a short time. Let's get along. And it's not some sort of hippie commune utopia idea. Absolutely not. But if you recognize the divine in somebody else, because it's also within you, I recognize the God that's in you, because that same God is also in me, or I am that you are. You don't even have to talk about the golden rule. But we are very, very far away from experiencing a renaissance. We are living in a very dangerous time because of the powers that be, which makes me very sad. So, to overcompensate such fear, worry, doubt, or even anger, you change your vibration. And you overcompensate by giving more love, more light, through your actions and your words daily. You open the door for people. You do the right thing that your parents and grandparents installed in you. It has nothing to do with religion or spirituality. Be a good fucking human being. The reality you have is the reality that you have created. And it's up to you to change it if it's not suiting you. You have outgrown your reality. It doesn't fit anymore. It's a shirt that was given to you as a child, and it's being stretched and torn, and your reality is crumbling because it doesn't fit you anymore. But don't forget that reality that was given to you was given to you. You can take that shirt off. Put on a new shirt. Wear no shirt. The more and more you dig into these things, the more and more other things universally will make sense to you. You'll hear a song on the radio. You're driving along, and all of a sudden the doors come on and it's Break On Through. And you're like, wait a minute, I never thought about it that way. Break On Through. Well, that's right. Jim Morrison was a big fan of Huxley and his Doors of Perception. The Doors of Perception. Maybe I should read that. Yeah, I read that in high school. Anyways, where did Huxley get that idea from? Oh, William Blake and his Marriage of Heaven and Hell. That's kind of like a juxtaposition between, like, light and dark, and it's got this whole, the dichotomy between the symbolism of this is light, this is dark, this is masculine, this is feminine, this is good, this is bad, this is solar, this is lunar. And it's the marriage of them, and it's the doors of perception. If they're cleansed, everything appears to man as it truly is, infinite, because he's closed himself off and sees things through only narrow chinks of his cavern. And then you'll start seeing, holy crap, this shit is everywhere. They have said that the ancients have drawn it upon the earth. They did. They left us all sorts of clues that not only said, hey, we were here, but clues to say, we knew more than you. You know? But yeah, I'm going to finish this pipe. I'm going to go home. I'm going to do a little bit of reading. I'm going to take a sacred shower. I'm going to wash some things off. The last little caveat that I have is, if you know anything about lucid dreaming, and there's triggers, and you've taken control within your dream, and you're now not just an active participant, you're now creating as you're going in your lucid dream. Well, if you don't actively keep focusing on that you are dreaming and keep taking further actions, you will fall back into the dream story that already just exists, okay? The same can be said about your vibration. If you don't actively change it, if you don't actively do, it's not just thought. It starts with thought, but you actually have to do. And that's the hard work that people don't want to do. If you don't actively take the thought and put it into action to change your vibration on a regular basis, you're always going to go back to that base level, which is just going along with the story, going along with the daily motions. It's the mundane. It's the profane. It's the illusion. And that's where they want you to be. Who is they? Well, you should figure that out. But on that was my little chittity chat about energy. You are what you consume. Be very careful with what you surround yourself with, what you read, what you watch, what you eat, whom you talk to, who you follow. These are all choices. Choices have rewards and consequences. So, remember that you have the active choice, and these choices begin in your mind. Change your thoughts first. Be well. Slangafol.